Hey everyone, how's it going? Elliot here again. I am going to be participating in an eBay repair challenge. What that is going to consist of is 5 videos across this month, repairing a different item each week. There's going to be a different theme, so stay tuned for those themes. And then the final video will be in a few weeks' time where we'll do a sort of reveal. So the aim of it is to buy something from eBay, faulty, and then fix it and resell it. We have a $200 budget, and yeah, whoever makes the most money wins. I'm pretty excited. I've bought obviously all my items at this point, and I've actually filmed most of these videos, so I know how this turns out. This is in the future that I'm filming this intro. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Stay tuned, subscribe with notifications on to stay up to date when each video comes out. I'll put all of the links to the other people participating in this challenge in the description. Stay tuned, enjoy, I'll catch you soon. So we have a Super Mario Bros. Talking alarm clock. Yep. So I paid a grand total of £20 and £2.79 postage for this little thing. So let's go ahead and read this together then. So Nintendo Super Mario Bros. Xeon Talking Alarm Clock, faulty, rare collectibles, 1990s. Box is crumpled, faded, doesn't talk, but clock seems to have set itself with batteries in. Great retro throwback for someone with knowledge to display only. Batteries not included, selling spares because of the above. Blah, 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 blah. So it says doesn't talk, but clock seems to have set itself with batteries. So it doesn't talk. And this is the talking alarm clock. So there, my friends, I think we have a faulty item. Now, this box has seen better days. I'm not going to lie. It's in absolute pieces. But I think with an iron, I'll be able to iron this out and then re-glue down the side. And I think this will actually come out looking pretty good. And here's our little Mario clock. Really cool little thing, to be honest with you. I mean, it's creepy beyond belief. Look at this thing. It looks like he's just eaten that mushroom. Pretty happy with the condition of that, to be honest with you. It's definitely going to need a clean, but I'm pretty keen with that. So let's get some batteries and see what is wrong with our talking, or non-talking, should we say, clock. So I can actually see there's a little bit of corrosion in the battery terminal, so we'll need to give that a little clean as well. So we've got volume high and low on the back there, and it seems to have already turned itself on, which is pretty decent. So what I think we should do is just figure out, it's 11:45, so let's go set. So setting the date and time and also the alarm on this little thing is all done with this small little control panel here. Now both of these buttons are very hard to press. So as you can see, the current time is saying 11:56. It's actually 11:57, but that's pretty close. And then if you press the set button, it shows you the alarm. And then you can actually go through and change the date and time like that. And then it goes back to the time again. You can see there's a little indication of a bell and also a sort of speaker sort of thing up there as well. So hopefully, there we go. There's our alarm. Wake up, it's time to leave dreamland. Wake up, it's time to leave dreamland. I don't understand why it says volume high and then low, but when you put it on low, it's louder. But anyway, the problem is it works. I know that might not seem like a problem, but obviously this is meant to be a repair challenge, and it's not going to be a challenge because it doesn't need to be repaired. I don't think I'm going to stop there though. I'm going to try and work out how to take this thing apart, mainly because I'd like to clean the little buttons under here, the little button contacts, because if someone's going to buy this off me, they're going to want to be able to press that a little bit easier than it actually is. Although it's working okay, relatively okay now, when I first tried it, it was very difficult. So it also needs a clean. So I think what we should do is take it apart, give it a really nice big clean inside. We need to clean the corrosion off of the back. Interestingly, when you take the batteries out, it does hold that date and time. Not sure for how long, but that means that you can then put your new batteries in there. So that's another thing that I'll type up on the instructions when I go to sell this thing. So that's pretty good. And yeah, pretty happy with that buy. Let's crack on with taking this thing apart and seeing what's inside. Holy moly, that right there is dodgy. Look at that. There's a resistor and a capacitor just soldered on loosely everything is sort of just loosely placed inside. Wow, that is far cheaper than I thought it was going to be inside here. I reckon it's probably been done like this so that when the batteries are put in, this capacitor here will actually hold a little bit of a charge, and maybe with that resistor, I don't know, but I'm just guessing that is what's actually keeping the charge in this thing when you remove the batteries. So that's actually quite a clever little setup, but that also means we need to be quite careful when taking this apart, not to short anything. So we'll remove this a little bit further. One more screw and then this motherboard will come out. And then the final thing to remove is the little brick which has the components to adjust the date and time and set the alarm. So we need to figure out how this thing comes apart, basically. I've just looked down these two holes and there's some screws in there. So that is clearly how this thing is going to come undone, although my screwdriver doesn't fit down there, so I'm going to have to go and grab another one. So I've got this little screwdriver here, which was one from a kit, like a Game Boy case or something like that, and that fits in perfectly. So, and then the top of this should pop off, like so, although the wires are a little bit short for it. There we go, all good. And then here's our little motherboard inside. Oh no, wait, there's another screw holding that down. There's a few screws holding that down. So that top bit, okay, there we go. So that now is how we can clean those little button contacts inside. So I can just unscrew this tiny little motherboard here. There's screws everywhere at this point. I'm quite concerned I'm not going to be able to put this back together. We now have taken apart this little motherboard enough so that we can get access to these tiny little button contacts. And then we'll be able to give the contacts on the board a nice clean. The actual screen is coming off here, but that is normal, although not ideal. And then we can just give this a little clean, like so. Make sure you give it a nice clean. Some people use rubbers, like erasers, to do this, but I've always found that isopropyl is sufficient. And then what we'll also do is give these actual little rubbers a little clean as well. Okay, that's one in. So although they are lopsided, they're lined up perfectly, so they are going to make a great button contact, especially now that we've cleaned it all with isopropyl. So that is all good. All of this is in really nice condition, so I don't need to give that a clean. But what we do need to do is reassemble this. So let's just put our batteries back in here and see if the screen is actually working still. Hey, it is. Excellent, very happy with that. So time to reassemble this then. We can just slide it in, which is a very nice little mechanism, to be honest with you. I was really thinking this was going to be a lot cheaper than it turned out to be. Yeah, I'm probably going to just leave that loose for a second and we'll give that a clean because I'm not sure if you can see, but there's actually sort of a bit of crust of dust from around that. So I'm going to give that a nice clean with some Mr. Sheen now, which is a multi-surface polish. I'm sure most of you know by now. And we should just give this a nice little wipe and it will come out probably looking brand new again. And the polish not only actually polishes the plastic a tiny little bit, but it also makes it smell nice and gives it a little sort of shine, which is nice. And there we go. That's buffed right out and all of that dirt has now gone. So now we can screw the brick back into place again and that will just keep it there nice and secure whilst we work on the rest of the stuff. We've got some more button contacts here. So I'm going to just pop the little covers off like that and then grab some more isopropyl on a Q-tip. And I'm basically just going to repeat the process that I did before on the other one just so that we can get these nice and clean, and then they're basically just going to work every time. You know, we've got a little bit of assurance. I mean, this is just a general sort of service, to be honest with you. Whilst we're here as well, we can give the little speaker a little dust as well, because where the speaker grill is, in order for the sound to come out, it's just accumulated a bit of dust over the years. So we can just get in there with a bit of isopropyl, and just to get the rest off, here's a very, very fine, light brush, which we can just use to get the rest off there. You don't really need to use a toothbrush because dust doesn't really adhere too strongly, and it's no match for my girlfriend's makeup brush. All good. So I'm just going to clean these little rubber contacts as well, just so that we know that they're done. Just a little bit of peace of mind, really, as well. And not that these are really going to have been, you know, abused. Like usually I repair Game Boys and stuff on my channel, and these have seen a lot of wear because they are permanently being, you know, mashed against the metal contact on the PCB. So these ones aren't going to be that bad at all. So we can slot them back in. This is actually a little bit trickier than it looks, getting this rubber back in here. There's those two little buttons, all nice and finished up. We'll give this little button here a clean as well, and just pop it back inside the bottom. And then line up the board and figure out which way it went on. Is it this way? I feel like it was. I'm just trying to be quite careful because obviously this magnet here is from the speaker is just going to be sticking all the wires and everything together. So I just need to be really, really careful that I'm not going to damage anything permanently. Okay, so I can just drop the speaker back in, which is a nice feeling because that means we're pretty much there now. And then the only thing left to do in here is whack the little brackets back in. And these little brackets are quite a clever design. These little brackets for the speaker are actually going to be quite difficult to put back in because everything we're dealing with is metal, so it's all just sticking to each other, which is extremely frustrating. In fact, Gattis, yeah, can I have your finger, please? Perfect. Very, very nice, Gattis. Thank you. That's a lovely finger you've got right there.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got another one to do though, please. So please come back. Yeah, that's perfect, Gattis. Thank you. I'll just whack that in. Lovely. Cheers, mate. I wonder if they had to do that in the factory, just get cool Gattis over. Okay, so the other thing we can do now as well, what we realized is this switch was in reverse. So I can actually now just put the batteries back in here, and hopefully we can just figure out which way it was meant to be going and swap it round. So if I switch this switch now, that's the quieter setting of the two, and that's the higher version. So we want it to be that way. And then we should be able to just close this over. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just going to put it back together again, which is just obviously these screws around the bottom. And we'll give the rest of it a clean and we'll be done. Alright, and that is going to conclude this video. I'm really, really happy with how this has turned out. I've polished it all up and it looks very, very nice. Obviously, we were able to clean the button contacts on both of these buttons and on these buttons, which were essentially the thing causing the biggest problem. We've also flipped around the switch for the high and low volume, which is nice. As I mentioned, I'm gonna, before I sell this, iron this out so that it's actually a functional box and it goes with it and looks a little bit better. I'll also type out a little instruction sheet and print that off so that the user has an ability to actually make this function. And that's it. I'm really happy. I hope you guys have also enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it wasn't a little bit in need of a bit more of a repair, but that's just reality, unfortunately, and I didn't have enough time to pick up another object. If you have enjoyed this video and you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and leave a like on the video. Stay tuned for next week's eBay repair. Stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.